I've just shocked you all, haven't I, by going live about 40 seconds early. I'm never, ever early in life. I'm always either bang on time or a few minutes late. Never early. Nothing I ever do is early. So, say hello to some people in chat. Say hello to Halakar. Hello to Grumpy Old Slan. Hello to Green Dragon. Is it afternoon? Well, you can see it's not afternoon here. It's 9:30 in the evening here. We haven't got any snow at all. We had little sprinklings over the winter, but nothing significant. I'm not expecting a busy stream tonight because of the news that came to light about an hour ago that it is currently Gamers 1, Men in Suits 0. WotC have decided not to deauthorize the original OGL. They'll come up with a new one for the new game, but for the time being, those who make stuff for 5th edition or anything under the OGL are fine, and that's good because there are a lot of people out there who've got businesses based on making stuff. It just have to wait and see what the knock-on effect is of all that goodwill that's gone in the wind. Hello, Roland. In fact, something I'm going to just share with you all is Gingerbeard's comment from a few minutes ago in Discord. He said, YouTube randomly demonetizing your stuff. WotC timing an announcement, knowing that it would drag viewers from your stream because of other people covering the OGL announcement. Someone powerful loves the Forest Oracle. Yeah, there's lots of other streams going on at the moment talking about the news. It was tweeted about an hour ago, Halakar. That's why I saw it. They've had this apology. They've said sorry. They've said sorry. They've said about 90% of people are going at them on Twitter on their that survey they did. It's something like 85 to 90% negative responses. That wasn't predictable at all, was it? Nerds having nerd rage. We're good at that. We are so good at nerd rage. We kick off at the slightest. Don't touch our stuff. But, so hello Mage's Musings, and hello Yesmar. People are coming in to say hello. As I don't expect that many people on my stream tonight because there's so many people streaming about the OGL. But we're going to be playing a bit of choose your own adventure type stuff in a bit. Hello, Lionel. Lionel, yeah, you have a piping hot mug of English tea with you. I have a pint of Irish Guinness. But some other good news is I don't know if it's good news or bad news, but 4 of my last 6 streams I've done have been hit with that yellow symbol straight afterwards saying ads limited due to unsuitable content or whatever. But 2 appeals have gone through okay. But unfortunately, the first 2 days of a video is when it gets most of its views. So that's by the by. But at least they're green lighting my videos again, which is all right. I just wish they weren't knocking them out in the first place. Because on Wednesday we were good little boys. We were really, really, really well behaved. We only said about 1 or 2 pooey words throughout the entire stream. Nothing controversial. We were well behaved. It was all very nice and roses. Anyhow. So, anybody with a channel to shout out before I get going? Yeah, Mage's Musings needs to make some videos. Anyone else with a channel wants to shout out before I get going with my reading? Let me know. Hello, Fat Gamer. Fat Gamer's got a channel. You can all go and subscribe to Fat Gamer as well. So that's well timed. I've just done a shout outy thing for people. Right. If you remember, last week, Bang's Naughty Bits. I've already said. I'm really, really happy to see that it is Gamers 1, Men in Suits 0. It's not going to have any real direct impact on me personally, but I know a lot of people who through YouTube stuff. I've just repeated it. So I know a lot of people through doing YouTube stuff who do make stuff under the old OGL who were badly affected by it. So I'm really glad that they can still produce their stuff. It's what needs to be. It's what needed to be done. So the people I've been on streams with before on other channels, good. A lot of those are creators, and a lot of those will relying on creating under that under OGL 1.1.0 A. So good for them. Yes, indeed. Trust is indeed a question, but it's still a victory. Well, that's what I want to say. It's Gamers 1, Men in Suits 0, but the final whistle hasn't gone yet. It's a game of football, soccer, game of football going on, and the Gamers have scored and have got the lead. But yes, trust is an issue. Right. Shall we get going? And it will be interesting to see what the other companies come up with the Orc license and all of that. So quite a few companies have signed up for that, and fair play to them. Nice to see other companies banding together. Right. So I have the character sheet from last week. We were playing the role of a private investigator, a PI called Magnum. Sorry. And we were playing Alone Against the Tide. And yes, Call of Cthulhu, Alone Against the Tide. Hello, Larissa. And we'd got about halfway into the adventure. So shall we see where we were and how we get on? We'd been to an auction. We'd gone to an island and it was all really, really foggy. What system is Heidi Gygax writing her module for? Because if she's even got half of her dad's module writing chops, then it could be decent, because Gary Gygax was one of the best module writers of the lot. He wasn't a great rules writer. He was very imaginative, great table creator, but not a great rules writer, but a great module creator. Right, good mixture of systems, as it should be. Right, I'm guessing the 1E version will be for Osric. I would have thought. Most of them do tend to be nowadays. Doesn't matter. Be compatible either way. Anyway, we had arrived on an island. We'd gone to an auction where they were selling off personal possessions of a deceased man. His widow didn't look altogether put out by the thought of him not being around, maybe to get the money. And we've gone and found somewhere to stay. So at the auction, we bought a journal and we've just read it. But that was it. We didn't manage to buy anything else. So we're in our hotel, motel, whatever, and we have a choice now of 2 places to go visit. Do we go to the police station, or do we go to the ferry? Hoping you remember more about what's happened than I did, because of course we won Alone Against the Flames last week. We ran away. We didn't end the cult, but we ran away. But we successfully ran away, like a brave Sir Robin. So, chat, 13 people in chat. That's twice as many as I thought we'd get because of the OGL streaming. Maybe you've come to me to avoid all the drama because there'll be no drama here. But yeah, chat, make some decisions. Do we go to the ferry to probably try and get away, or do we go to the police station? Up to you, ladies and gentlemen, lads and lasses, chaps and chapesses. We have 3 votes for the ferry, 1 vote for the police station. 2 votes, 3 votes, 3 ferry, 3 police station. It's going to be one of those streams, is it? I'm going to have to get my dice out a lot. Bit of sad news. Our Shadow of the Demon Lords game got cancelled last night. Didn't get to play. Sax just had a bit of a headache after a stressful day at work. So we had to cancel it, which was a real shame because I wanted to bring out my goblin voice. The goblin voice. Oh, my name is Pustule. I am a goblin. Hello, Elfbait. So, votes at the moment. We've got 4 for ferry, 4 for police. Sax has been quiet today. He hasn't commented on anything today, so he probably is. Just needs a good night's sleep, a couple of paracetamol. Okay, we're going to go and see the policeman. Okay. You step out into the greenish mist. You feel it clinging tightly to you as you make your way the short distance to the police station. And that's my daughter putting the hairdryer on in the background. I wonder if you can hear it. Upon hearing the small... Start again. I get distracted very easily. Upon entering the small brick building, you are struck with a sense of claustrophobia. The walls here are uncomfortably close together and space is tight. Crammed into the tiny structure are a large desk, several filing cabinets, a few chairs, a closet-sized holding cell with iron bars sits at the rear of the room. Behind the large desk is Officer Powell, smoking a cigar with his feet propped up on the table. His coat is unbuttoned and his hat lies on top of a stack of papers next to a battered old revolver. He opens one eye and frowns at you, sighing through his cigar as he straightens himself up to look presentable. If you're bothering me right now, I'm going to assume this is important. You mentioned you'd like to see the police report for Professor William Harris's death, to which he replies with a snort. You have no business dealing with that. And even if you did, this is my jurisdiction. Shove off and leave me in peace. He doesn't seem cooperative. Perhaps you could convince him that you have some special circumstance that warrants you looking through his files. Oh, okay. It doesn't give us an option to make a fast talk roll. It just says make a fast talk roll. And my fast talk is 5%. oh, I'm just going to show you this. Oh, 7. Do we pass the fast talk by using 2 luck? Yay or nay? We've got 55 luck points. So up to you lot. Shall we use two of our 55 luck points to pass this fast talk? We only had a 5% chance there. Use luck, use luck, use luck, everybody. Everybody's saying use luck. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I think it's a no-brainer. 10 people in chat. 5 have already said use luck. We've lost 3 people in chat. Oh, shame on you. Oh, shame. Well, I have to say, when I'm on people's streams and I'm at work, though, I have to keep going in and out of them because the boss rings. Click. Yes. Hello, customer. I am working. Honest. Right. So we're going to use our 2 luck points to pass that fast talk roll. You imply that you know the right sort of people who might ask the wrong sort of questions if you don't get access to that report. You aren't sure whether or not Officer Pal believes you, but you can tell it's more trouble than he's willing to risk. With a look of irritation, he thumbs through the stack of papers on his desk before handing you the file you asked for. According to the report, Professor Harris's death is officially a suicide. His death occurred at his home address. He was up late one night in his study when he stuck a gun into his mouth and painted the room red. His body was found the following afternoon by his wife, Amelia Harris. There was no note. The deceased had no prior criminal history, and the gun found at the scene hadn't been used in any reported crimes. Overall, the report is dry and minimalist. All requisite information is present, but only to the barest standard of diligence. Satisfied, you hand the file back to Powell, who grumbles and tucks it away before clearing his throat loudly and propping his feet back up. You feel that you've been given a cue to leave, and Officer Powell will not likely be of much further help. So, right now, shall we go to Harris's house, or shall we return to the hotel? Harris's house or back to the hotel? Up to you lot. No option to go to the ferry now. They may have gone to check out the news slant. It's understandable. It's been the big news in the gaming hobby for the last 3 weeks. So, of course, people are going to want to find out what's happening. And then feel really smug when they see that the big men in suits have gone, whoops. Raggy? Everyone's saying they want to go to the house. It's unanimous at the moment. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 house votes. 4 haven't yet voted. It doesn't matter which way you vote because house is winning. Okay. You walk into town towards the Harris address. Even knowing the location, it's difficult for you to find your way due to unfamiliarity with the town and the density of the peculiar green mist. As a result, it's some time before you arrive at the Harris house. As you approach the building, a man steps out of the fog, blocking your path. He is young and thin, with rather angular features and the faint hint of a moustache atop his lip. He's dressed in a dark suit and stares at you from beneath a flat cap. You're an unwelcome surprise. I don't know what you're looking for, but you won't find it here. Your eyes betray you as you glance at the Harris house. The man scowls visibly. Why don't you leave the poor widow alone, you creep? If you want to bother her, you're going to have to get through old Joshua here. Capiche? His hand brushes beneath his coat as if he's searching for something, but then he stops himself. He pauses for a moment, looking you over once more, before spitting on the ground at your feet and turning away. Okay. Options now. Call out to the man. Continue making your way to the Harris house, or to heed his warning and go back to the hotel. So, call out, Harris house, or hotel. We're down to 8 people in chat. You didn't like my seedy voice. Why don't you leave the poor widow alone, you creep? There's no option to shoot him. We haven't got a gun. This character does have 70% in firearms skill, but no gun yet. One for call out, two for house. Oh, my little connection thing has appeared in the top left. I might be going jittery in a bit. It's probably because my kids have put their Xboxes on. Call them kids. They're 18 and 16. They're still not kids. Yes. One for call out, four for Harris House, two for call out. Ooh, depends. I'm still got two more people in chat yet to vote. Only got 8 in chat at the moment, so it's dinner time in America. Coming up to it, isn't it? People getting out of work. Yeah, I had the option of charm, intimidate, fast talk, or one other one. What is it? I can't think what it was. Persuade, and I put 35 points in charm to take that up to 50, and I put 20 points in intimidate to put that up to 35. But we got no fast talk and no persuade. Or basic fast talk and basic persuade. We do have a bit of boxing skill. We've got 45 in fighting brawl and 70 in handgun. So, unfortunately, you can't have everything. That's the whole thing with Call of Cthulhu. It's give and take, isn't it? You've got to. I wonder if my 60 points in psychology is going to ever come into play in this adventure. I don't know. But so at the moment, House is just winning. 1, 2, 3, 4 houses. Hello, Lord Cephalion. 1, 2, 3 for call out. So it's 4 for house, 3 for call out, 4 for call out. So 4 are saying to call out to Joshua. 4 are saying go to the Harris House. No one wants to go to the hotel. Next vote gets it, hoping the 2 lurkers have a chance to vote. Because we do have 2 lurkers who've not voted. Well, I like psychology in Call of Cthulhu games. It's the type of skill I like to try and push people to have. I try and make use of it quite a lot. Helps with sort of getting vibes. And in a horror game, vibes are important. Nobody else voting. Right. Okay. We're going to have to go to the dice. Okay. Oh, there we go. I did say, oh, what we're going to do here. Lionel's changed his vote to call out at the same instant as Yesma says go to the house. But that does mean call out now has the lead. Okay. Call out's got to get it. That's got to get it. Okay. Call out to Joshua. 5. Split second. Split second. You call out to Joshua to explain himself, half expecting that he will simply brush you off. Surprisingly, he turns in your direction and steps towards you. As Joshua moves closer to you, you can once again make out his features despite the fog. You now see that he's visibly red in the face and his eyes are bloodshot. He's clearly livid. His hand darts beneath his coat and re-emerges holding a coat M1911, 1911, M1911. I don't know my guns. I guess it's going to be an M1911, which he points directly at you while speaking in an agitated manner. What the hell is your... Look at that voice again. What the hell is your problem? I threaten you and you come back for more. Do you have a death wish? Leave Amelia alone. I've been about this for far too long for you to wander into town and ruin it for me. He shoves you back and levels the gun at your face, looking you dead in the eyes with sweat on his brow. He grits his teeth, panting and huffing for a second, before holstering the gun and bracing himself against a nearby building. Get the hell out of my sight. If I have to look at that goddamn face of yours for one more second, I'll put another hole in it. You see no reason to further provoke Joshua, and you hurriedly leave him where he is. So now we get the option to go to the Harris house or back to the hotel. Shall I just jump in straight away and say go on to the Harris house because that's what everyone else voted? Harris house, just yes, yeah. Charles. Yes. I think everybody's going to say house because I don't think we're going to go back to the hotel. We've got to keep investigating, haven't we? So I'm going to jump on with that. I'm not going to ask the wife anything yet. She's downstairs watching Silent Witness. Do you get Silent Witness in America? It's a crime series. It's a bit, you know, your CSI type series, but where they pack everything into one episode in CSI. Silent Witness is one of them long, ongoing ones. It's very intense, very good. Despite Joshua's urgings, you feel compelled to speak to Amelia yourself. You approach the front of the house and note your surroundings. The house's exterior hints at the wealth of the occupants, but then again, so do most places in town. Directly across from the residence is a small church whose religious iconography seems to have inspired the Harrises in their house. A cross hangs over the front door. Pardon me, it is repeating. And decorative columns line the outside walls of the two-story house. All in all, the architectural style is somewhat baroque, complete with a pair of carved angels lounging beneath the eaves that are just visible through the strange haze. You knock on the door and wait in the mist for a few moments, hoping for someone to hear you. Eventually, I'm just going to move my book over here so there's a light on it a bit better. There we go. Eventually, much to your relief, the widow Amelia answers the door. She's wearing a bright red dress, which accents her deep crimson lipstick. She appears to have taken great care over her appearance. She flashes you a smile and invites you inside. The house opens into a large foyer, and you see various crates and bundles stacked high along the walls. Just selling off a few of the more common things. Mind the mess, the porter hasn't come for it yet. She takes you by the hand and to lead you past the stacks of items, helping you to pick your way through the deceased Professor Harris's assembled possessions. She takes you into a small drawing room filled with antique furniture and offers you some coffee. After settling in and exchanging a few well-mannered pleasantries, you ask in more detail about the late Professor Harris. Amelia sighs theatrically and looks down at her hands. I can't imagine what you want to ask about William. I found him in his study with a gun still in his mouth. What more could you want to know? Silent Witness. It's about. It refers to the body. The silent witness is the body. So it's there's a lot there to do with the autopsies and stuff. Right, psychology. It says make a psychology roll. I knew that 60% on psychology would come in handy. And I rolled 18. Dice on fire tonight. Dice on fire. Succeed 126. Brewing room. A drawing room? Drawing room. As in drawing. You withdraw into the drawing room. Might just be me. Might just be me accent. Drawing room. Oh, my screen's flickering now. Connection, behave yourself. As I always say, I grant permanent and irrevocable license to use my ugly mug for whatever purpose you want. I don't care. So if I freeze in the middle of a stupid pose, and it freezes, then just cut my face out and slap it somewhere and go, haha, look at this idiot. Right, okay. You don't know why you hadn't realized it before. Selling all of his things, adopting such a flirty demeanor, dismissing questions about her husband's death. Amelia doesn't seem too broken up about her husband's passing. She's hiding something. You'd bet your career on it. You suspect she's involved in Professor Harris's death in some form or another. You open your mouth, prepared to call her bluff and press her for more information, but you're interrupted by a loud knock at the door. Amelia jumps up, startled, and stands there for a moment in confusion as the pounding on the door resumes. Police, open the door! Amelia's face drains white as she goes to answer the knock. Your gut tells you something is wrong here. You feel uneasy about the officer at the door. You tell yourself you're being irrational and on edge, but you have some trouble fighting that feeling. There are precious few moments in which to react. So what do? Ignore our instincts and wait, or try to hide. So wait or hide. I will tell you what our stealth skill is. It's 40. Wait or hide. Well, that's how democracy works. 9 people in chat, 6 people vote, 7 people vote very quickly for hide. Doesn't matter what the other 2 people say, whether they're right or not. The democratic result is hide. Make a stealth roll. We have failed it. We've rolled 66. It'll require 26 points of luck to pass this. Do we use 26 points of luck? We have 53. Up to you. It's nearly half of our luck. Luck or no luck? 26 points. Okay, Yesma, one of the lurkers is your television. You're on here twice. I never thought of that. I never thought that people might be on here twice. Only Roland's going to saying use luck. Everybody else is no luck. No luck. If you fail, go to 20. Your instincts get the better of you and you feel compelled to make your escape. You rise from your seat looking for exits. I think it's worth the shot. Unfortunately, you never get to take it. As you rise and head for the kitchen doorway, Officer Powell bursts into the room shouting, "Freeze! Police!" You glance over your shoulder and see his revolver leveled at you, and you go stiff. "You're under arrest for trespassing. You're going to come with me now." He has you dead in his sights. Talking would do you little good as he's already caught you trying to flee the scene. You should probably do as he says. On the other hand, you could try to run. Staring down the barrel of a gun, the odds don't look good, but maybe you like your chances better with the gun than the prison cell. We have an option now here to go quietly or try and make a run for it. I think this might have gone wrong. Ever the optimist, Halakar, ever the optimist. So go quietly or make a run for it. Please chase time. Yeah, when we played Forget Me Not, I do remember Gingerbeard trying that. It didn't end well. I think it was pretty much a Bonnie and Clyde situation. Okay, one go quietly. Slan, does that mean run away? Yesmar saying run away. Lionel says go quietly. Roland says run. Green Dragon, go quietly. Elfbait says run. Larissa says go quietly. We're at 4-4 then. We're 5-4 with Mage's Musings vote. We're at 5-4 for running away. I do have to own the freeze frame. General chat. Okay, yeah. You put the freeze frame of me pulling the face. Marvelous. Yeah. I don't care. I have no shame. I don't care. I really, really don't care. Nothing to be to care about, really. Have I? Make a run for it. Go for 82. You eye the barrel of the gun, weighing your chances. It doesn't look good, but you decide it beats the alternative. Your muscles tense, waiting to spring into action. You take a breath. You miscalculated how the chances were. You managed to take one step before you hear the loud crack of the revolver. You feel a round slam into your chest, and then another. You stumble back, clutching at your wounds, doubled over in agony. You look up just in time to see Powell looming over you before he smashes the butt of the gun over your head. In a daze, you look down at the pool of blood forming around you. Your limbs start to go numb. The pain starts to recede, and you feel yourself growing cold. You know that you're going to die. The last thing you'll see is the glint of murder in the policeman's eyes. You have died. Your visit to Esprit is over. The end. Just as we go up to 10 in chat, the end. Oh, well. We will play that one again in the non too distant future. So forget everything that happened in that one. Punch him in the groin on the way. Yeah, as we hit the floor, we would have given him a crack in the nuts. Hello, Hungar. Was it you who turned up just as we died? Oh, yes. We've just tried to run away from a police officer who was carrying a gun. 44, I think. And that was that. And me doing that will mean this stream is demonetized. But no, I don't care. Don't care. Call of Cthulhu is brutal. You're right. Though we did it alone against the Flames last week, and we won. We won. Passed a disguise check and got away. Didn't destroy the cult. The cult still there, but that's that. Right, so a bit of traditional fighting fantasy. A bit of traditional fighting fantasy next. I think we have to, where I'll put it, there it is. One of the books I bought a couple of weeks ago. Haven't tried it yet. Anyone familiar with this one? Anybody? Are you all familiar? Anybody know this one? Island of the Lizard King. Not played it on this stream yet. Let's see if we can last a little bit longer. Not wanting to be ever the hello Munchy Gecko. Not wanting to be the pessimist, but I did create a character before the stream started, just in case we died. Thank you, Larissa. Yes, Munchy. This is the perfect one for Munchy Gecko. He is the Lizard King. We've got a little gecko in the house. It's called Neo. My kids have never seen the Matrix films, but still called Neo. He's about that big, about that long. First time you've played Fighting Fantasy. It's very, very simple, and we die in it rather a lot. The epilogue to last week's game is we wrote of our adventures in a memoir, which was found by some hapless loner who tried to follow in our footsteps and fell victim to the cult in true Wicker Man style. Okay, Island of the Lizard King by Ian Livingstone. Basically, these are the British version of the Endless Quest books and the Lone Wolf type books. Yes, Ma. So, Oyster Bay is a quiet fishing village. Some no worries, General Nut. No worries. I said at the start of the stream I didn't expect tonight's stream to be busy because of the OGL thing. The OGL thing is obviously going to be keeping people occupied tonight, but we got up to 13 people in chat. So Oyster Bay is a quiet fishing village some 60 miles down the coast from the notorious Port Blacksand. Because it is at the end of a long peninsula, reached only by a steep and winding path, the fishermen and their wives are left to lead a simple but content life, away from the monsters and the sorcery of the hinterland. Journeying south from Fang, you decide that you could do with a few days' rest. And knowing of no more peaceful place than Oyster Bay, you urge your horse towards the coast. Besides, an old adventuring friend of yours called Mungo lives there now, and it has been years since you last saw him. 2 days later, you arrive at the edge of the cliffs overlooking Oyster Bay. It is a beautiful sunny morning, and everything looks tranquil below. Nothing seems to have changed. The cluster of stone cottages nestles between the foot of the cliffs and the jetty, where a dozen fishing boats lie at anchor. You jump off your horse and walk it down the winding path to the village. The first people you see are a group of crying women. As you approach them, several men step out of a cottage and run towards you. One of the four is your old friend Mungo. His weather-beaten face is full of anger. He looks surprised to see you, but wastes no time with words of welcome. He recounts the sad events that have befallen the village. It's only a 3-page intro, so that's not too bad. Having no gold or material wealth, the people of Oyster Bay thought themselves safe from raiders attacking their village. But several weeks ago, while most of the men were out at sea, the lizard men of Fire Island landed their boats at Oyster Bay and kidnapped several young men. Mungo believes that they are now enslaved on Fire Island and working in chain gangs in the gold mines. Since the kidnapping, 2 men were left to guard the village while the rest went out to fish. Despite this, the lizard men attacked again this very morning, overpowering the guards and taking away more young men. Mungo tells you he's about to set sail for Fire Island alone because the other fishermen are too scared to set foot on the island. He stares at you in silence until you smile and say that you will aid him in his quest. He slaps you on the back and shakes your hand in gratitude. For the moment, the poor fishing folk forget their grief and crowd around you, eager to thank you. Mungo then invites you to dine with them and rest a while, as the voyage to Fire Island will take several hours. Over a delicious feast of boiled lobster and salad, you discuss your plans. Mungo tells you that he does not think that humans live on Fire Island any longer, but his knowledge is fairly limited. These are just rumors that pass between fishermen from other coastal villages. However, it is known that Fire Island used to be a prison colony guarded by a tribe of paid lizard men. This was a rather futile attempt by Prince Olaf to rid his land of undesirable characters. The good prince soon learned that it would have been simpler to put his lawful citizens on Fire Island and leave the evildoers on the mainland. There were just too many of them. He gave up his attempt and abandoned the prison colony. When the lizard men received no pay, they took their vengeance out on the prisoners, and the island became a place of terror ruled by the lizard man prison guard, who proclaimed himself the Lizard King. The prisoners were forced to dig mines in the hope of finding gold for the Lizard King. They were underfed. I thought I said underfed. I didn't read that right for a while. They were underfed and ill-treated, and many died. That is presumably why the Lizard King is sending out his men to find new slaves. It is known that in order to assert his authority, the Lizard King began practicing voodoo and black magic. He also started genetic experiments. There we go. That's the stream dead as well. In an attempt to breed an invincible race of lizard men. Most of the experiments went wrong. Grotesque mutants were created, and some of the harmful potions found their way into the water drains with terrible consequences. The local flora and fauna were affected, with the result being that man-eating plants developed and giant beasts evolved. A few of the prisoners managed to escape the island on rafts and were picked up by fishermen, but what has happened in the last few years, nobody knows. Fire Island had almost been forgotten until the recent raids. Success in your quest to assassinate the Lizard King and rescue the kidnapped victims is doubtful, but you must try. You stand up and walk towards the jetty with Mungo, stepping aboard his small fishing boat. In sight of the cheering villagers, you untie the boat and push out to sea, wondering if you will ever return. Hello, TK Yang, and hello, Sebastian. A new Warduke figure. They're making those again. I'm trying to think what I had when I was a kid. I had the Wizard, and I had the Ranger, and I had the Paladin. I don't remember which other ones I had. Oh, I think I might have the Barbarian. Do you remember having a Barbarian? Those were the original ones back in the mid-80s. Mungo's years with the fishermen of Oyster Bay have made him a skillful boatman. I think I had Ringlewan. He swiftly hoists the sails of the small boat and sets a course due west across the silvery blue sea. In fact, we have a picture of Mungo. There he is. Army hearties. Hello, Mobius. Up to 13 people. Swiftly hoists the sail of the small boat and sets course due west across the silvery blue sea. The land soon recedes from the distance, and you sit back on the deck, relaxing in the afternoon sunshine. From the stern, you hear a merry whistling, the creak of the rudder, and Mungo occasionally calling out to a seabird passing overhead. You think about the good times you used to have with Mungo, his constant cheerful nature and willingness to help people in need. You find it difficult to believe that so much evil exists in the land when there live the likes of Mungo. As the hours drift by, you talk and laugh, trying to ignore the dangers ahead. Mungo is always one to tell a tale, and he is now telling you about his father and how he used to work in a traveling circus. He was a big man, big as a mountain, laughs Mungo, and he would do just about anything for a paying crowd, wrestle trolls, have elephants stand on him, and even let a killer bee sting him. He was a tough old customer, but he finally met his match in the north. The circus was in Fang as one of the attractions during the festivities surrounding the Trial of Champions. And my father decided on a whim to enter. He walked into the death trap dungeon and, alas, was never seen again. He really was too old for such an ordeal, but although there was no telling him that, at least he tried. Just as Mungo is about to tell you his next tale, he jumps up and shouts, "Land ahoy!" at the top of his voice, as though he were yelling the news to the crew of a galleon. You look to where he is pointing and see Fire Island in the distance. The island sits on the sea like a green cushion, with a jagged mountain protruding from it. Smoke gently curls up from its top, a volcano's fuming anger waiting to explode. Mungo steers the boat towards a small inlet at the eastern tip of the island, hoping that it will remain concealed between the high rocks. You both put on your backpacks and clamber out of the boat to begin your quest to find the Lizard King. If you wish to scramble around the rocks to the beach, to the cove to your left, let me know. Otherwise, we can clamber over the rocks on the other side of the inlet to the beach and the cove to our right. Basically, shall we go left on the beach or shall we go right? 50-50 decision. Off you go, chat. Make the choice. Just got to clean my glasses. Still haven't got new ones. I was saving up for a car, and the glasses I need are bifocals, and they're about 400 quid a pair. And I desperately need a new car. Don't want to drive a 20-year-old Nissan Almera. It's all right. It's just old. I want something new. It's about time I had something newer. It's years since I had a decent car. Right. Left, right, left. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left. In fact, there's a lot more lefts. Only General Nut goes right. General Nut, you've been outvoted. Left it is. 24. Turn to 24. It doesn't take you long to reach the beach, which is small and covered with golden sand. A few rocks jut into the sea, and at the far end of the beach, you see a tiny hut made of white stone. The roof has collapsed, and the hut looks deserted. There are some long tracks in the sand, crisscrossing the beach. If you wish to walk across the beach to the hut, tell me. Or shall we climb back to the inlet and go over the beach to the other cove? So do we go back and right, or shall we approach the hut? Right or hut? No, there was no one behind you. No. Nope. Such is life. Such is life. Excuse me. Roland wants to go back. 3 more people want to go for the hut, though. 4 huts. 1 right-hand side of the cove. Any more votes? Slan's going for hut. Looks like hut's winning. Hut's on 5. Returning is on 1. 5-1 at the moment. Any more votes? Any more votes? Last call for votes. Remember, I do get a bit of lag, so and Lionel secured it for the hut. 211. You're about halfway across the beach when suddenly a large mound of sand by the sea's edge starts to rise into the air. Then you see 6 large spiny legs and a pair of pincers. As the sand slides off its huge shell, your eyes widen at the daunting sight of a giant crab before you. It scuttles across the sand, picking up Mungo with one of its pincers. Mungo cries out in pain, unable to free himself from the vice-like grip. Shall we help Mungo, or shall we run to the stone hut and leave our friend? Help Mungo, or run to the hut? Poor Mungo. That is a big, big crab. It's like D&D's giant crabs were not that big. That's a gargantuan crab. Yes. Roland is the paladin in chat. Help, my friend. Our alignment is whatever we want it to be, Halakar. But people are... Yes. Didn't get it out of your system last night, not playing the goblins because of Sax just not being well. Oh well. Wait till next week. Okay, so we're going to help our friend. You run at the giant crab with your sword drawn. It drops Mungo into the sand in order to attack you with both pincers. It has skill 10, stamina 11. It's a big one. It's a big one. Right. Shall we be the red dice or shall we be the orange dice? Vote now. Red or orange dice? Red dice or orange dice? I have red dice. I have orange dice. There's another pose you can snip if you want. Not saying red. Those are the red. One's a see-through, one's speckly. The orange ones are both the same. When I got back into the hobby, those orange dice were the first dice I bought. Bought a couple of sets of orange dice. Yeah, we're red. Okay. Crab. Crab with prawn cocktail sauce. Yum. When I was in Japan about 25 years ago for one night, just one night only. It was a stop off on the way to Australia for my friend's wedding. And we'd got a budget for a meal in the stopover. And the cheapest thing on the menu was crab and noodles. So, well, okay, I'll save myself enough for a beer from this budget, and I'll have a crab and noodles. And I got this big plate of spicy noodles, and on top of the noodles was the biggest crab I've ever seen, and they had this little hammer. And it was like, okay, so that's why it's cheap. You've got to get it yourself. But it was absolutely delicious. Right. We're red. We've lost the first round. 5-7. We've won the second round. Okay, so that's got us started. We've got a 1-point advantage in this fight. We've won the third round. Tie, 6-7. 6-7 again. Come on, red dice. 11-10. We've won that round. 4-6. We've lost that round. 7-5. We won that round. Come on. Come on. 9-10. Tie. 9-7. We've won that one. One more. Oh, 2-7. We've lost that one. Yeah, I rolled double one for us. And 10-10. We've won the last one. There we go. We've beaten the crab. We've hit it 6 times. It's hit us 3 times. So we've lost 6 points of stamina. We're okay. We're on 13 stamina still. If you win to 366, you save Mungo and you have a nice dinner, hopefully. On the flight from Japan down to Australia, they were basically force feeding us cans of Sapporo lager, and I was sat on the back of the plane because I was smoking at the time, and that's the only place on the plane you could smoke. And I was drinking cans of Sapporo lager, Japanese brand, with a couple of Aussie surfers, and we had a right laugh. We had a right laugh. Got to Brisbane, and I had no idea what time of day it was. Turned out it was 6 a.m. Australian time. I phoned my friend whose wedding it was. He got no idea I was going to visit him. It was a surprise. So I phoned him from Brisbane Airport and said, Mark, it's John. I'm in Brisbane. I won't repeat what he then said because it would get me severely demonetized. And he was like, do you know what time it is? I said, no, I haven't got a clue, but I've just got off the plane and I'm going to need picking up from Sydney Airport in about 2 hours. You picked me up. I said it was 5 days to go to the wedding, so I assumed he'd had his stag party already. I said, Mark, so how was your stag do? He goes, don't know. Looked at his watch, said it starts in 4 hours. So I got off the plane with a bit of a hangover from drinking all that, and we went on the stag party 4 hours later. Joy. Right. Well, Sapporo's not that. Well, that was not weak. So that was about 6%. That was, or was it just the altitude, the pressurized nature of the cabin? But we only had 4 or 5 cans, and we were laughing our heads off. Right. Kneeling down beside the crushed body of Mungo, you gently lift his head into your arms. His eyes open a little, and he manages half a smile despite his agony. In a whisper, he says, well, old friend, it's the end of the road for me. A lot of use I've been. Make sure you get the Lizard King for me, won't you? Then his eyes close, and he slumps down dead. You bury him on the beach near the cliff, marking the grave with his sword skewered in the sand. More determined than ever, you set off on your quest and walk to the stone hut. Yeah, the stag do went on from about midday, and we got back to his flat at about 5 a.m. the next morning. So I hadn't slept for 24 hours. I'd been drinking on the plane. I got about 3 hours sleep and then a quick shower on the floor of his flat, and then went out boozing for the next 16 to 18 hours. I slept for about 15 hours after that. Yeah, that was fun. Those were the days when I was 26 years old and could do that sort of thing. These days, I'd collapse in a heap. Yeah, poor old Mungo. Poor old Mungo. He's croaked. The abandoned hut is littered with broken furniture, smashed pottery, and a few bits of torn clothing. You kick away a dirty rug and see the handle of a trapdoor in the floorboards. Shall we lift the trapdoor, or shall we leave the hut? Shall we open the trapdoor, or shall we leave the hut? Hello, Scroll. So open trapdoor or leave hut. Stay away. There used to be a TV show in England called Trapdoor. Doubt you got it in America. It's a plasticine thing. It's very bizarre. It's very good. Stay away from that trapdoor. Remember that? It was on TV when I was in my teens. Everyone's going for the trapdoor. $267. You pull on the handle and lift up the trapdoor. In a small compartment, you see a wooden box, which you lift out and place on the floor. The lid is covered with candle wax. Shall we open the box, or shall we leave the hut? Shall we open the box, or shall we leave the hut? I'm just preempting what you're going to say. Mind reader, you see. That's what this big fat head is. I do have a very large forehead. I've always had a large forehead, even when I had hair. "15 people in chat. Is everyone sick to death of the OGL streams now, or have they finished?" Guinness gone. Right. Roland opens the box. Halakar opens the box. Yesmo opens the box. Sebastian's being more cautious. No, I haven't seen the movie Seven. You're right. Bottle of hot sauce, though. Ooh. Sweet chili. Seafood and sweet chili is nice. Not many people voting so far, but Open the Box is winning. We're on 4 Open the Boxes, 5 Open the Boxes, and 1 wax. That's what I can see. Yeah, Thai food would work as well. Thai's great. So, we open the box. 354. The lid lifts up easily, and inside you find a corked earthenware jug and a note which reads, "Many years ago, I came to Fire Island for peace and solitude, but since the lizard men have dwelt here, such an existence is no longer possible. I have now returned to the mainland. Many of the plants and bushes here are poisonous. A scratch can kill you. Drink my potion from this jug and you will come to no harm. I wish you well for whatever reason you are here. Farewell." It is signed with the name Baskin. Shall we drink the liquid in the jug, or shall we leave the hut immediately? 18 people in chat. It's 18 people in chat, a record Fighting Fantasy stream. Here was me being all pessimistic that we get down to 17. Teach me for opening my mouth. Right, so shall we drink the liquid in the jug, or shall we leave the hut immediately? Drink or leave? Hello, Michael. Looks like you're outvoted, Mobius. Severely outvoted. Yeah, it looks like we can't save it. So Drink has won. Drink has won that vote. Oh, Sebastian's been very, very cautious, but there's still 2 votes for leaving. Everyone else is going drink it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6-2 at the moment. You never know. Leave might have a resurgence as 9 people haven't voted yet. 6-3 now. Squirrels joining in with the old cautious old schoolers. Yeah, my video title. Well, the video title was what we started with, wasn't it? So, and then we died. We got shot. We tried to run away from a policeman with a police issue pistol, revolver, whatever you call it. 6-3. Anyone else going to vote? As I flicker again. Any more votes? Nope. We're going to chug it then. We're going to chug. 238. Do we die here? The liquid taste of aniseed and is milky in colour. You gulp it down, but feel no effects and can only presume it will protect you on the journey ahead. You put down the jug and leave the hut. We've survived it. If you put Pernod in lemonade, it turns milky. So it could have just been a shot of Pernod. Behind the hut, you see a narrow goat track leading up the side of the cliff. You wend your way up it and are quite exhausted by the time you reach the top. You take a swig of water from your flask and realize that water shortage could be a problem for you on the island. Looking west, you see the daunting sight of the sleeping volcano standing above the trees, but no sign of life. Although you can certainly hear it, a cacophony of bird and insect noise. With the light quickly fading, you decide to camp for the night behind some rocks. You do not sleep very well and are awake at first light, eager to set off. You decide to head directly west into the trees. Yeah, we're okay. I'm going to make a decision here that while we camped, we ate one of our provisions. We've got 10 meals, just because each time you eat one of those, it heals 4 stamina. Yeah, pastis. Pastis is like Pernod, isn't it? It is Pernod. Ouzo is very similar. Right. So we head west into the trees, having had a meal. The undergrowth between the trees is dense. Plants with long or broad leaves, some with spiny tips. Vines, creepers, fungi, roots, and flowers of all sizes, shapes and colours, fighting for light and space in the humid jungle thicket. You have to use your sword to cut your way through it, and it is a long and slow business. All right, we've got an option here. Shall we sit down and rest at the base of a great tree, or shall we continue hacking our way west? Rest at the base of a tree, or continue hacking our way west? Or is the tree too ominous? I think we're hacking on, aren't we? Yes. Go west, young man, as they say. I know I've mentioned it before, but Go West, Young Man, lyrics from a song by The Cult, and it's a great record from the album Dreamtime. Really, really, really good album. In my opinion, the best Cult album. Better than Love. Love was good. But Dreamtime was fantastic. As you push your way slowly through the undergrowth, the hairs on the back of your neck start to prickle, and you feel that you are being watched. You stand back, sword ready, watching the leaves for any sign of movement. Then 3 men step into view, each wearing only a crude loincloth. They are armed with stone clubs and long spears, but you are more alarmed to see that each wears a belt of shrunken human heads. the Headhunters. The Headhunters start to argue about who should kill you and earn the right to wear your head on his belt. And we have to fight them. Headhunters, a good song as well, by Front 242. If anyone knows industrial music, I don't know if you care about my music taste. Okay, we're fighting Headhunters. They are not difficult, so we should be able to see these off pretty easily. There is no picture, unfortunately, of this. But if we lose a single round, I'll be surprised. They've only got skill of about 6. We've got a 5-point advantage in combat. There's no picture of the Headhunters. No, sorry. Yesmar knows it. Headhunter by Front 242. Quality tune. Okay, it's 2 Headhunters dead. When I first went to university, it was one of the dance floor staples in the dodgy clubs that I used to lurk in. Lots of industrial music and punk music being played. It's when grunge first came to the scene as well. First heard Nirvana played in that club. First Nirvana song I ever heard was Negative Creep. It was in that club. 1990. It would have been October, November 1990. I heard that. Ish. Around that time. May have been early 91. No, nuts. My taste in music is not questionable in the slightest. I know you lot are all into your sprawling rock anthems. I like things a little bit heavier. I like things quite heavy. Punkish, industrial, goth, that sort of stuff. Right. The Headhunters have no items of equipment on them, but they have a hide bag containing bananas and coconuts. You save your own provisions and eat the Headhunters' food. Aha. You wonder if there are villages nearby and decide to climb a tree to get a better view. From the top, you see smoke rising not far away in the southwest, perhaps from a village. Directly west, you see the trees gradually thin out, and away in the far northwest, you see the daunting shape of the volcano. You climb down from the tree and plan which way to head. Shall we keep going west? Or shall we go northwest in an attempt to circumvent the smoke? So west or northwest? West or northwest? I only know one Lynyrd Skynyrd fan, one Lynyrd Skynyrd song. Sorry. Yeah, I started going to nightclubs 1990, and I went to the 90 to 94 was my main sort of clubbing time, and I used to frequent sort of very sort of smoky, full of dry ice underground clubs where the only beer you could dare to drink was the Newcastle Brown Ale because you didn't trust the beer on tap. Lots of goths swishing around drinking cider and blackcurrant. I had dreadlocks, so I used to swirl my dreadlocks around on the dance floor while chugging Newcastle Brown. Yes. The big band, obviously heard saw Nirvana play live at Reading in 91, and then a year later when they headlined in 92 when they become big. Other big bands, Ministry, Nine Inch Nails, Front 242 were big. Carter. Anyone know Carter? And then there's all Sisters of Mercy and all that sort of stuff. So we're going northwest or west? Let's look back and have a look. Which song? Not Lynyrd Skynyrd. Freebird. Actually, I know two because they did Sweet Home Alabama as well, didn't they? So that's two. But yes, Ministry were massive in those clubs. Anything with Al Jorgensen in Revco, Ministry. Looks like Northwest has got it. Turn to 12. Indeed, he did, Munchy Gecko. I had that on a t-shirt. I had that on a t-shirt. You struggle on through the dense jungle and suddenly stumble over a human skeleton. The maggots and insects have long since devoured the flesh, but the clothing looks like that of a prisoner who must have tried to escape. You wonder how he or she died. There is a hand axe and some rope lying by the prisoner, which you decide to take before continuing northwest. Bonus. Hand axe. Rope. I think of other bands that were big. New Model Army were big. I don't think they ever cracked it in America. In fact, I believe they got barred from touring America because they released a song called 51st State, claiming that Britain was the 51st state of America. Oops. Fugazi. What are the bands? PWEI. Anyone ever heard of them? So 105. Being very wary of the vegetation, you stay alert, constantly looking around. Halfway up a tree to your left, you see a crude platform and a vine hanging down from it. Shall we climb up to the platform or shall we press on? Climb up to the platform or press on? Hello, Justin. It does seem to be that whenever anyone pops in and casts their first vote, they get outvoted straight away. I've never heard of Sister Machine Gun. It's happened again. Justin, you've just joined and you've been outvoted straight away. Welcome to the stream. That's happened to everyone who's joined so far. First vote, ignore them. Right. Everyone's voted for Klein. 286. You've climbed about halfway up the vine when you see a head pop out over the edge of the platform. It belongs to an old man with grey hair who glares down at you looking very angry. Go away, he cries, or you'll be sorry. If you wish to continue climbing the vine, let me know. Or shall we take his advice and slide down the vine and continue northwest? So do we keep climbing or do we run away from an old man? If this was a D&D game, I'd shout, I'm here to save you, you doddery old fool. Sebastian's going to suggest running away from everything in this adventure. So we've got 1 run away, 1 keep climbing, 2 run away, 3 run away, 2 keep climbing, 3 keep climbing, 4. We're on 4 climb, 3 run away. 4 climb, 3 run away at the moment. I'm counting on my fingers. Always do. 5 climb now with Michael's vote. Yes. Those who don't understand General Nuts comment there, that's referring to my goblin I play on a Thursday night, who can't count beyond 3. If there's more than 3, he goes back to 1 again. So when we got paid 8 pieces of copper, it was 1 and 2 and 3 and 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, which he was told meant 8. He uses goblin logic. CL in Roman numerals is 150. One and 1 and 1 is 1. Right, at the moment, we're at 5-4. 5 for climbing, 4 for running away. So climbing just about edges it. $117. As you continue your climb, the old man jumps into defensive action. A barrage of coconuts is hurled down at you. And although you tell him you mean no harm, he continues throwing down whatever is to hand, shrieking, "Go away!" at the top of his voice. By the time you reach the platform, you have a few painful lumps on your head. Lose 1 stamina point. We're all doomed. Now you see the man at the far side of the shelter platform, standing nervously with a bamboo pole in his hands, wearing nothing but canvas shorts. What should we do? Offer him some food, leave him alone and climb back down, or step on the platform and pull his bamboo pole away from him? So offer him food, climb back down, or pull the old man's pole. I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts. Everyone reckons we should offer him some food. Yeah. We're nice. We're really, I think we're neutral good, aren't we? Or maybe even lawful good. Yes. The man's eyes light up at the mention of food. He puts down his pole and beckons you to sit down. As he devours your offerings, lose one portion of provisions. No matter, we've got 8 left. You tell him of your quest. He tells you that he was once a thief on the mainland who was caught and sentenced by Prince Olaf to 5 years imprisonment on Fire Island. After the lizard men began their rule of the island, he was forced to work in the gold mines. One day, however, he managed to escape and he's lived in hiding in the jungle ever since. He thinks he's too old to brave a journey by raft to the mainland and is happy enough to live in his tree den. You ask him if he has any information which may be of use to you, and he replies that he will willingly tell you all he knows in exchange for some more food. Shall we give him another portion of provisions, or shall we instead threaten him? More food or threaten him? Good evening. Exaterok? Is that how you pronounce it? Or just Zaterok? So no, the name that Xavier, in America you call it Xavier, whereas over here it's Xavier. Food. Up to 17 people in chat. Right, give him a portion of our provisions. Zatarok. Okay, Zatarok. Good name for a D&D character, though. The old man takes the food and begins to draw a rough map of the island on a piece of cloth with some charcoal. He points to where you are now and also marks the sites of the mine and the prison colony, which is where the Lizard King lives. You fold the map up and put it in your backpack. Just as you're about to climb down the vine, the old man says, and for just a little bit more of your delicious food, I'll give you something really useful. Shall we give him more food, or shall we just climb down and continue? There's our map. Zatarok. We've got 7 food left. We've got a lot of food left. Hello, Daniel. Must have been a heavy week. Because are you over this side of the Atlantic? So it'll be 11 o'clock. Food. Okay. Giving him yet more food. The old man pulls a piece of bent wire out of his pocket and proudly hands it to you. He sees the puzzled expression on your face and explains, it's a picklocks wire, and I use it to unlock my leg irons. You're New York time. There's no excuse to fall asleep there. Before it's a Picklocks wire, and I use it to unlock my leg irons before escaping from the mines. It might come in handy if you're captured. Right, so we have wire lockpick. You thank the old man and climb down the vine to continue northwest. Excellent. He was useful. He was useful. Hacking your way through the plants and shrubs, you become aware of a buzzing sound above you. Hovering over you is a colourful but threatening shape of a giant dragonfly, its iridescent wings beating fast, yet keeping the dragonfly perfectly still. Suddenly, it plunges down to attack you. Right. Another fight. Another fight. It's a fair bit weaker than us. It's an 8 skill. We've got skill 11. 5-12. Thus, it wins the first round. Oh, good start. That's better. 5-7. So 16-15. We win that round. It's only got 4 stamina, so we'll take it out in 2 hits. And indeed we will. Boom. Close to where the giant dragonfly now lies, in a crumpled heap, you see a patch of clam-shaped fungus attached to a rotting log. Shall we eat the fungus, or shall we set off again through the undergrowth? Shall we eat the clam-shaped fungus, or shall we set off again through the undergrowth? We traded 2 sets of rations. In fact, it was 3 in the end, for a map and a lockpick, a wire lockpick. So eat fungus or just set off and keep going. Yeah. Go. No, trippy trip. Let's set up. Yeah. Okay. Have you seen my video when I did talked about how one group got through Sinister Secret of Saltmarsh, and I changed. There's some mushrooms in one of the rooms in the house, and it says, "Oh, they're harmless," and I changed it so that they weren't. I changed it so that they were hallucinogenic, and it completely changed the complexion of the adventure because the party decided to lace the smuggler's supply of ale with the mushrooms, and then wait, and go back to the house around the time of the aftermath. Good stuff. Right. Set off again through the undergrowth. 224. You decide you've gone far enough northwest to avoid the headhunter's village and begin to cut your way directly west through the jungle. You've not gone far when you're surprised to enter a small clearing completely free of vegetation. A large green crystal lies in the center of the clearing, glowing and radiating heat. Shall we walk around the crystal and continue west? Shall we touch the crystal, or shall we try to chip a piece off the crystal with our sword? Walk around the crystal, touch the crystal, or try and chip a piece off the crystal with our sword. Yes, loot indeed. Are we tempted by the loot? Green crystal. What do we think of the green crystal? Anyone who's new to the Fighting Fantasy stream we have on a Friday, it's commonly the case that people just go, they just want to explore everything, grab everything, And safety be damned. So let's have a look at these votes. We've got let's see what we've got. Loot, walk around, chip, walk around, touch it, walk around, touch it, walk around, loot, touch it, touch it, touch it's winning at the moment. Chip. Okay, lots of votes have come in. No, we can't, Munchy Gecko, no. And touching it is winning at the moment. People want their loot. Okay. Touch the crystal. 232. Slowly and nervously, you touch the glowing crystal. A warm glow radiates through your body and you feel invigorated. Add 3 stamina points for having benefited from the effects of the regeneration crystal. Oh, very good. Very good. If you have not done so already, you may try to chip a piece off the crystal with your sword, or shall we just continue west? Chip or west? West or chip? I have these little milestones when I'm doing the streams. On a Wednesday night, we've never made it to 30 people in chat. It flicks up to 29 and then drops, and flicks up to 29 and then drops. On a Friday night, we've never made it to 20 people in chat. Tonight, it has reached 19 and then just dropped. Loot wasn't an option. Touching it was the loot option. Well, personally, I'd have just gone west, but chipping is winning. Chipping is winning. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, chipping's winning. Okay. 370. You swing your sword and bring it down heavily on the rock. To your dismay, the blade snaps in 2, leaving you with a much shortened sword. Lose 2 skill points. That wasn't the wise thing to do. If you've not already done so, you may touch the crystal. Alternatively, we can leave the clearing and continue west. Okay. Broken our sword, and we're going west. We've already touched the crystal. We pushed our luck a bit too far there. As you continue to hack your way noisily through the lush vegetation, you are unaware of the 6 pygmies you have attracted who are now following you. They surround you before coming into view, their blowpipes aimed at your exposed flesh. Shall we communicate with them, or shall we try and fight them? Try to communicate with pygmies or fight them. Pygmies. They look like cone heads, 2 of them. So, try and communicate with the pygmies, or shall we fight the pygmies? Carly. Yeah. Absolutely unanimous. The pygmies grunt and shout at you, but you don't understand their language. They obviously want something from you, but you're not sure what. What do you have that you wish to give them? Shall we try and give them a hand axe? We haven't got an iron bar, so we can't offer that. Shall we offer them food, or shall we offer them nothing? So hand axe, food, or nothing. Broken sword. Sadly, not an option. Wish we could give them. Justin's been outvoted here. Looks like we're giving away our food in this adventure quite a lot. So let's hand them some food. There were 6 of them, and I've only got 6 food left. You reach into your backpack and take out 3 portions of your provisions and divide them among the pygmies. They each smell the food before trying it. They look at each other and all stop chewing at once. They spit out the food, noisily expressing their disgust. One of them signals to the others to attack you, but just as he pulls his stone club from his belt, he falls over, clutching his stomach. The others, too, begin to stagger. Your food has made them ill. You waste no more time and head off west into the undergrowth as fast as you can. Might have been the best way to escape them. We poisoned them. Pressing on further west, you notice that the ground is becoming wetter and softer. Soon you are ankle deep in water. The trees thin out and you find yourself wading through a thick black mire. The marshland stretches out in front of you as far as you can see. Suddenly you hear the sound of squelching behind you, and you're surprised to see a strange creature run past you. It's small with green reptilian scales. Its arms are long and hang down to the ground, and it moves rapidly over the marsh on its webbed feet. It pays you no attention. Shall we call out to the creature, or shall we just keep trudging west? Call out or trudge west. Yes, we gave them a dose of the squits and ran. Perp. Yeah, that must be it. Must be it, Slam. I licked it. My goblin would. Because that's what he does. Been invaded by Doggy. Hello, Doggy. You'll get your cousin Munchy Gecko. Yes. Yes, indeed. Right. Trudge on. Right. 2, 4, 2, 4, 4, 5, 4. 5 for west. Continuing west. 4 for calling out. Any more votes? We have 18 people in chat. 9 have voted. No more votes. We keep trudging west. Experience points for taking out the pygmies. Good evening, Biff. The ground under your feet becomes softer and softer until with each step you are sinking into black mire up to your knees. It's tiring to keep going, and you begin to worry. The whole landscape is water-covered with only the occasional clump of reeds breaking the surface. Still, you press on resolutely until brought up short by the sight of a flaying tentacled arm unfolding out of the black water in front of you. Excuse me. Another arm reaches out before a hideous octopus-like beast with dark green lumpy skin rises slowly into the air on its 6 arms. It is the loathsome slime sucker, and you must fight it. We haven't got a spear, so we must fight it with our sword. Oh, no. Okay. During each attack round, you must reduce your attack strength by 2 because of your tiredness and lack of mobility. So we're fighting with a skill of 7 now. It's got a skill of 10. Hello, Kelsey. That's Daniel's missus. That's the creature. Right. So we've got a skill of 7. There isn't an option to fight it with a hand axe. I'm guessing it's to be used as a tool rather than a weapon. We've got a skill of 7. It's got a skill of 10, but we've got a lot more stamina than it has. So we're going to need some luck. We're going to need... If we hit it, I'm going to use luck points to increase our damage. 9-8. Unfortunately, it's a loss because we need to beat it by 3. It's another loss. And that's another loss. Oh, blimey. Ooh. Oh, it's a tie. 8-5 is a tie. 8-8 is another loss. Oh no. Oh no. And we just hit that 20 just as we're about to die. 6-8 is another loss. Oh no. 7-3. We've won one. We've won one. Okay. We've won 1 round so far, 1 tie, and we've lost 5 rounds so far. No, we're not even coming close. Oh. The dice have turned. If we were level with it, we'd still be losing this fight. We're down to 4 stamina now. Oh. We've won a round. We've got 4 stamina. It's got 5. Oh, I'm going to test my luck. Do extra damage. Yes. Right, we have a chance. Come on. No option to feed it rations. 11-6. Yes. Yes. I'm going to spend a luck point. Come on. Come on. Yes. There we go. Using 2 luck to make the most of those hits has allowed us to kill it. But we're down to 7 luck points. We're down to 4 stamina points. And we're down to 9 skill. Okay. Right. I'm going to eat some of our food here because we need to heal a bit. 122. That's done us whopping 14 points of damage. You wipe the thick blood off your sword and trudge off west again, wondering what other creatures might be lurking in the black waters of the marshland. Although you're expecting some terrible beast to rise out of the water, everything remains calm. Gradually, the ground becomes firmer underfoot, and soon you are out of the water and walking through thick mud, keeping a watchful eye on the terrain and the sky. You are unaware of the disgusting soft bodies clinging to your legs. It is only when you notice some discomfort that you look down to see the giant leeches wrapped around your calves. Roll a d6, add 1 to the number rolled, and this is how much damage we take. And it costs us a point of our provisions as well. We did briefly go up to 20 in chat a moment ago, so we have hit the 20 mark. A 1. So we only lose 2 stamina, but we're down to 1 food left. It says a portion of your provisions as you need salt to get them off your leg. So we use some salt to get rid of the leeches. And we are still alive, just 6 stamina left, 1 food left. We're in trouble. We're in trouble. After checking yourself carefully to make sure you are finally rid of the parasites in the marsh, you continue west along the muddy plain. Ahead, you see 2 hills, and you decide to walk towards the gorge dividing them. Yes, the red dice have been rolling a lot of 1s lately. The red dice have turned on us. They started off really nicely, but the orange dice are rolling better now. The ground rises, and you are at last away from the difficult terrain. The jungle and marsh are behind you. Grass and flowers make the island appear lush and beautiful, but you know you cannot afford to relax. It is not long before you reach the gorge and see that it runs between several hills in a westerly direction. Shall we walk down the gorge, or shall we climb the hill to... Well, okay. These are your options. Walk down into the gorge or climb the hill to our right. Just going to close the door. So did you get those options? Walk down into the gorge or climb the hill. Okay. 1 for walk down, 2 for hill, 1 for gorge, another 1 for hill, another 1 for hill, 2 more for gorge. We're at 4-4 at the moment. 4 for gorge, 4 for hill. Gorgeously head on into the gorge. So 5 gorge, 4 hill. Okay, gorge it is. We are gorging. Turn to 40. You walk down the gorge and into shadow, the sunlight being cut off by the southern hills. As the gorge narrows, you suddenly hear a rumbling above you. It's the sound of a landslide. And soon rocks and boulders are crashing down all around you. Test your luck. I'm going with the red dice because they've been rolling low, because we need to roll 7 or lower on 2 dice. Let's get there. Red dice. Oh, come on, John. Sorry if that made you dizzy. Indeed. Arg. Arg, I think, is the term here. Let's get that set up. You want to see my shiny head, don't you? Right. We're unlucky. The dice have turned. They were poor during the last fight. They were... The boulders fall down like rain, and inevitably one hits you. Roll 1 d6. I'm using the glassy red one. 2. Turn to 210. A large boulder lands heavily on the shoulder of your sword arm. Lose 4 stamina points and 2 skill points. God. Oh, 7 skill and 2 stamina, 1 food left. Oh. If you're still alive, you shield your head with your good arm and flee down the gorge as fast as you can. Run away. You run down the narrow gorge, hopeful that another rockfall will not occur. The gorge once again widens out as you slow down to walking pace as your claustrophobia dies down. Excellent. Excellent. We're not long for this world. We really aren't. On a large boulder to your right, you can see some words which seem to have been carved out of the stone. If you want to walk up to the boulder and read the words, tell me. Otherwise, we'll continue our trek down the gorge. So shall we read the words on the stone, or shall we continue our trek down the gorge? Mungo. So, walk up to the boulder and read the words, or continue our trek down into the gorge. You've probably already answered. It's just, there we go. The lag. 5 out of 5 reads. I can see 6. 6 out of 6 going for read. 19 people in chat. 6 out of 6 going for read so far. 7 out of 7. Think I can assume read's going to win this. 8 out of 8. Yeah. That's enough of that. Right. Read the words. 35. The words form a stark warning which reads, turn back or die. But you cannot tell whether the warning is for those entering the gorge or for those leaving it. However, as the boulder faces both ways equally. Get your inflection right, John. However, not wishing to take chances, you grip your sword and walk stealthily down the gorge. Oh, turn back or die. We're being stealthy now. In the fine sand on the ground, you notice traces of old footprints leading out of the gorge. They end abruptly in front of you, and there are signs of a struggle. 2 pairs of footprints lead back down the gorge with 2 straight lines behind them, as though their owners have dragged a body behind them. As you follow the trail of footprints, you catch sight of a shiny object in the sand. You prod it with your foot and see an oval snuff box made of brass. Picking it up, you see that it has a hinged lid. Shall we open it, or shall we throw it back into the dust and continue to follow the footprints? Open the snuff box, or continue to follow the footprints? Yes, of course we said read. General, we're not officially nerds now. We are ugly dorks because of the winning bid on Wednesday night. It confirmed we are ugly dorks. That's the bid that won. So hello, fellow ugly dorks. How you doing? Open's winning. Sebastian's playing his usual cautious game. But Open's very much winning. Eat the last of the food before we die. auction bid to create a new panel descriptor. It just happened. It just we didn't instigate it. It just happened. It was Hungar started it, and Squirrel dived in, and regular lurker whose name doesn't spring to mind went on with the winning bid. Chadley Casanova. Yeah, I think we should eat that's our last food. We've eaten it. We've eaten our last food. Hello, Lord Javi. And we're up to 20 in chat. Hurrah! That's twice tonight. We've hit 20. Right. Okay. So we're opening the snuff box. Inside the snuff box, you find a small gold nugget and a piece of paper with a message scrawled in charcoal, which reads, If you read this, it will mean that I have failed in my attempt to escape from the slave mines of the Lizard King. My raft is hidden beyond the gorge where the plain meets the river. If you are here to help us, please follow the river upstream until you see the mud huts. The slave mines are nearby, but beware the lizard man guards. You fold up the piece of paper and put it in your pocket together with the gold nugget and continue to follow the footprints. So we have a note and we have a gold nugget. Loot. XPs. Oh, you started, did you, Squirrel? Well, no, I think Hungar came in and said something like, "Good evening, dorks," and you replied with, "I see your dorks and raise you dweebs." So yes, you started the auctioning, the bidding. Yes. So yeah, it was you and Hungar. Cheers. Continue to follow the footprints. I'll have to look back and find out the name of the chap who had the winning bid, though. It's the first time we'd seen him on stream. He said he'd been lurking a while. I've not got a good memory, unfortunately, for names. The ground underfoot becomes rockier, and the footprint trail you have been following disappears. In the distance, you hear a faint rumbling. Could it be the yawning of an awakening volcano? You hurry on down the gorge, but are stopped in your tracks by the sight of a huge reptile blocking your path. You stare incredulously at the armored beast, which appears to be some 6 meters in length, about 19, 20 feet. It is a giant lizard, and it sees you as a source of food, and you must fight it. Yeah, big lizard. It's got skill 8, stamina 9. We've got skill 7, stamina 6. Uh-oh. It might well be over now here. It might well be over. We've won the first round. 8-3. That's a good start. Come on, red dice. Come on, red dice. Hey, Dad. Dad's just chomped us for 2 damage. Yeah, the red dice. The red dice giveth, the red dice taketh away. And that is it. That is it. We are dead. There's a lot of fighting in that book. Hell of a lot of fighting. Almost too much fighting. Generally, if you get drawn into a lot of fights, you've gone the wrong way, because there's usually a safe-ish way through. You've always got to fight some things along the way. But I think we might have made a few wrong turns there. Oh, well. Oh, well. And that ends that book for tonight. Right. We've got about 20 minutes till midnight. So what I'm going to say is I'm going to give you all a decision for next week's stream. Do we play that Call of Cthulhu one again, Alone Against the Tide? Do we play Lizard King again? We still haven't finished Warlock of Firetop Mountain, though that didn't go all that well on stream. We have Freeway Fighter. We've failed at that 2 or 3 times already. Creature of Havoc. We've failed that 2 or 3 times already. Bloodbones. We've failed that once. Forest of Doom, we won. Sword of the Samurai. We haven't played that. Gates of Death. We haven't played that. Crystal of Storms. We haven't played that. We have Shamutanti Hills, Sorcery. We got battered on that a few times. City of Thieves, we got battered on that. That's part 2 of Sorcery. We haven't got to that yet. And we have Citadel of Chaos, which we haven't played that at all. So those are our options. It's fairly... Squirrel Hermit's going for Firetop Mountain. Mage's Musings wants to go back to Sorcery. Biff wants to go Firetop Mountain. But we have got 5 votes there for the Call of Cthulhu one, Alone Against the Tide. So looks like that one is going to win out. What I'll do next week, then, we will start with Alone Against the Tide. And if and when we die, we'll have a crack at either Warlock of Firetop Mountain or Sorcery. Is that fair? Okay, we've had another vote in for Firetop Mountain. So if and when we die at Alone Against the Tide, we'll play Firetop Mountain. Yep. Is that a deal? That's a deal. I'll put those 2 to one side for next week. Just so I don't forget. Because I'm old and I'm stupid. And I forget things. So next week, Alone Against the Tide, followed by Warlock of Firetop Mountain. It is fair. That is fair. Yes. The people have spoken. So, say the cat's name, I dare you. What's that a reference to? I don't get a lot of in references because I'm rubbish. So, right. Can you hear my dog snoring in the background? It's all right. No problem, Daniel. Well, yeah, my dog is... Her head's on my wife's pillow. Her bum's on my pillow. She's got one eye open, one eye closed. And she's fast asleep. Ah. Yeah, have a good weekend, Munchy Gecko. So, yeah, it's probably a good time to finish off then. We've probably finished 10-15 minutes early, but that's because we died. Same time again next week, 9:30 my time. Depends where you are in America, your time, Canada, or wherever you may be. Thank you all for taking part in the stream. Thoroughly enjoyable, as always. Great to see so much engagement tonight because I hadn't expected a busy one due to the OGL news tonight. Thank you, Squirrel, and I'm gonna log off now. Thank you for taking part. Oh yeah, HP Lovecraft did have a cat. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed he did. Yes, indeed he did. And there's also the name of the leader of the Dam Busters, his dog, which we can't say on stream either. Anyway, on that note, yeah. Sometimes, Justin, you just have to prompt me. But yes, I know the name of Lovecraft's cat, and I'm not going to say it on stream. Okay. See you all. Thank you for taking part. And if you're around on Wednesday, see you then. We're talking clerics and druids on Wednesday night. So cheers.